Good morning, class. Today's course is going to be on compare and contrast concept. We're going to begin with a concept called front the writing. Okay? So we're actually going to read something and then we're going to write on it. The purpose of why we're fronting the writing is to build stamina in our writing. So let's start with a concept called controlling the game. Look at your worksheets, and you have two bios on your worksheet. One was a short bio of Malcolm X, and there's another bio of Martin Luther King. So what we're going to do, we're going to start reading. I'm going to ask Dan to start reading, and then when I just point to you, just pick up where he left off. Okay? Okay.
Just the first bullet point.
Yeah.
Students will compare and contrast.
Not the
Oh,
objective.
born.
Yeah. Start with Malcolm X. Born.
Okay. Born on May 19, 1925 in Omaha, Nebraska, Malcolm X was a prominent black nationalist leader who served as a spokesman for the Nation of Islam.
Stop right there. Go ahead, Todd.
During the 1950s and 60s. Due largely to his efforts, the Nation of Islam grew from a mere 400 members at the time he was released from prison in 1952 to 40,000 members by 1960. Articulate, passionate, and naturally gifted and inspirational orator, Malcolm X exhorted blacks to cast off the shackles of racism by any means necessary, including violence. The fiery civil rights leader broke with the group shortly before his assassination, February 21st, 1965.
Stop right there. Go ahead, pick up.
At the Audubon Bar in Manhattan, where he had been preparing to deliver a speech.
Okay, that's a short bio on Malcolm X. Now we're going to read the bio on Martin Luther King. Go ahead.
Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. King, both a Baptist minister and civil rights activist, had a seismic impact on race relations in the United States beginning in the mid-1950s.
Stop right there. Pick up where you left off.
Among many efforts, King headed the SCLC. Through his activism, he played a pivotal role in ending the legal segregation of African American citizens in the South and other areas of the nation, as well as the creation of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Stop right there. Go ahead, pick up where you left off.
In the Voting Rights Act of 1965, King received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964, among several other honors. King was assassinated in April 1968 and continues to be remembered as one of the most lauded African American leaders in history, often referenced by his 1963 speech, "I have a dream."
Excellent. So what we're going to do, I want you to flip that paper over. And just based on what you read, I want you to write 2 sentences about what you just read. 2 sentences for the bio of Malcolm X and 2 sentences for the bio of Martin Luther King. You have 3 minutes. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Pencils down. Okay. I just want John is to stand up and just read what he wrote right quick on Malcolm X.
Oh,
No,
Malcolm X was Islamic and promoted violence to fight racism. He lived around the same time period as Martin Luther King and was assassinated.
Go ahead, read what you wrote about Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King, he was a civil rights leader, like Malcolm X, but he was more peaceful in his approach to ending racism.
There you go. So we have a little background on both of the leaders. I know a lot of us have a lot of background on Martin Luther King. A lot of us don't know about Malcolm X because he's not as talked about as Martin Luther King. But the concept is compare and contrast concepts. The objectives are clear. The objectives of the lesson will be, students will be able to compare and contrast the different philosophies and methods espoused by both civil rights leaders, Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of each activist's argument and judge which approach was better, better for Black America. So what I would like for you all to do now is to take out that Venn diagram. You all have a Venn diagram that's in that sheet. I modeled the Venn diagram for you all. So on one side of the Venn diagram is Dr. Martin Luther King, and the other side is Malcolm X. Okay. The front to right, the differences. Can anyone tell me what a difference is? I got a lot of synonyms up here for differences, but can someone just give me another definition of this term that's not actually there, that I haven't actually covered?
Things that are not common.
Right, they don't have anything in common. This is a difference. This is a concept in which it's different. What is the difference between one is female, the other is, and that's a difference. Okay, that's simple. Even though it can go a little deeper than that, but that's simple. That is the first view of what we would call a difference. But differences are the similarities and contrast, distinction, differentiation. It's just it's just different, doing things in another way. Similarities. So we talk about similarities are things that are similar. So after reading the Martin Luther King and Malcolm X bio, what was something that was similar? They were both what? Civil?
Both very religious, different religions.
I mean, what was similar? They were both what? Civil
Right, activists.
leaders. Yes, that's what they get. So when you look at your Venn diagram, I've kind of modeled the standard for you all. So in the middle of that Venn diagram, it should be, there should be a term in it. What is the term in the middle of that Venn diagram? So
rights leaders.
it's there because that is what? That's a similarity. Now look at the Venn diagram. There are some other things that go on the outer courts of that Venn diagram, that circle, and those are what? The differences. So as we go through the lesson, as we go through the lesson, you have you are able to put the similarities in the inside of the Venn diagram and the differences in the outer courts of the Venn diagram. That understood?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, this is one of Malcolm X's, this is Malcolm X philosophy. A lot of people think that Malcolm X believed in violence. He did not so much believe in violence, he believed that self-defense. So he's saying that if someone was to hit you or strike you, that you had the right to defend yourself. He only advocated violence in what? In self-defense. So that's a difference between Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King said that his philosophy was strictly nonviolence. It's the peaceful means, not forced to bring about political or social change. So if you look at the Venn diagram, what can you put in the outer courts of the Venn diagram? There are what? Political philosophies on. So On this side, on the Martin Luther King side, you would put what?
Christian?
Nonviolence.
Nonviolence, peaceful,
Yeah, and on
meetings.
Malcolm X side, you would put what? By, self-defense.
Through kind of physical means, action.
Right.
provocation.
So, are we getting a picture? What is a similarity and what is a difference?
So, you say?
All right. Let's go through another one. Okay, background. Like I said, anytime that you take up a political philosophy, there's some influences and there's some certain things in your background that would make you have that opinion or would give you that idea. And this is shaped by our environment, by who we meet in our experiences. These men had totally different experience and different American experiences. And that's what I want to get into now, their American experience. Malcolm X background. Father killed at the age of 4 years old. Mother committed to an insane asylum at 9, dropped out of school at 15. Him and his 7 other siblings in foster care by 10, in prison by 20. He came from a what?
Broken family.
Can you imagine these hardships? And he described himself as the angriest man in America. You can see why his background made him very angry at the entire system. So this is his background. So Malcolm X came from a what?
A broken family.
So where should that go on the diagram? On the
Malcolm
what?
X is on the right side.
There you go. Okay, so let's look at Martin Luther King. Born into a Christian home, father middle class Baptist minister, graduated from high school at 15, enrolled in Morehouse College at 15, also received a PhD from Boston University at the age of 24. So you can see that their worldviews are, that their backgrounds are playing a part in their political philosophies. All right. So Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, he came from a what? Strong, intact family. Yes. So now you're able to make contrast. You're able to contrast the differences between these two people and why did they have these philosophies. Okay, that's your Venn diagram. I modeled it. We went into civil disobedience, self-defense. They were both civil rights leaders. We're going to get into this portion of it, their religions also, and why they chose their religions. And so Martin Luther King, his view of Christianity was modeled through his family. His father was a Baptist minister, so when he looked at Christianity, he saw his father practicing it, his mother practicing it, and he adapted it through his what? His family. So when you look at their religions, you can put Christianity on Martin Luther King's side. Okay, this is one of Martin Luther King's influences, Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was an Indian nationalist who helped India receive their independence from the British Empire through civil disobedience. So Gandhi was definitely an influence on Martin Luther King's life. Okay, let's look at Malcolm X influence. Malcolm X influence was from a group called the Nation of Islam. They were their political philosophy was something like what the Indians would have would be a state within a state. His philosophy was you don't integrate into a sinking ship. So his influences came from the Nation of Islam, which is a racist sect of the Islamic cult, the racist sect. So, as you look at backgrounds, who were their influence? One was influenced by who? Gandhi. The other one was influenced by what? Nation of Islam. That's where they got their political philosophies from. Okay. Let's get into this. Okay, closure. When you look at their worldviews and you look at who they were as men, and as men, you see that their worldviews were really based on their background and their political philosophies. When I looked at Malcolm X's background, I just say, man, I would be probably the angriest man in America also if that was my background. But I want you to look at this quote. And this is a quote by LBJ. He said, we show this, we have talked enough in this country about equal rights. It's time to write the next chapter and to write it in the books of law. So what we're going to do, we're going to flip over that page that you have right now. Okay, and we're going to talk about a time in which your worldview was challenged and how did you respond to it. So there's a difference in saying I'm nonviolent, I'm going to say nonviolence, and someone is hitting you upside the head with a billy club. That's your worldview being challenged. So can you look at a time in your life, you have 2 minutes to write on paper, in which your worldview was challenged, and what did you do about it? How did you respond? Did you maintain your principles, or did you not maintain your principles? Circulating. Every minute matters. You have 30 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Daniel, go ahead and share your experience with the group. Cold call.
So cold call really fast before we have to end the minute left.
Okay.
Is I served my mission in Brazil, and it was really tough at times, but because I kind of stuck to my faith, because I saw the good and learned to love the Brazilians, my worldview of people wasn't challenged, it was strengthened, and it was a very positive experience.
Excellent, excellent. The last portion of this lesson, I had a couple of quotes, and we were going to go through this. I had put on maybe 100 different quotes from each of the leaders, and I was going to just read a couple of them, and you all tell me which one you think made the statement. Only in darkness can you see the stars. Who wrote it? Martin Luther King. That no man pull you down, that's to let them hate, to pull you down, to make them hate you. That's King. Nonviolence is fine as long as it works. That's right. So you can get a gist of what these men actually believe, and you're able to differentiate the quotes and their language from what they believe. All right? Thank you.